you decide to do in life, it's something you have to enjoy, and you have to make sure that you overcome challenges that you face and make every bit of it enjoyable. The work itself, I enjoy it. It's dynamic. Writing books, I enjoy. Music, oh, you should see me dancing to my music. I like that. And everything I do, I run with my grandson, playing with him on the lawn and so on. So you have to enjoy whatever you choose to do in life, and be sure you're always after developing yourself so that life doesn't become boring, and so that you always have something to look forward to.
Wow, like I said, proper powerhouse. Congratulations on the new book. We'll be sure to buy some copies once it has been launched. You have such a full plate. One wonders how you are managing. But the takeaways from your submission for me was the issue of discipline and the issue of time management and drawing up schedules. I believe that's something where a lot of us could perhaps stand to improve. But the other big thing was the issue of enjoyment, the enjoying what you do. I think that's very important in terms of the work and family life balance. Still on the vein of lived experiences, Mellany, perhaps you could share with us an example of where the demands of your job competed with the demands of motherhood. How did you handle that? Is there one which had then to play second fiddle to the other, or you were able to balance them well? Over to you, Mellany.
Okay, there are indeed so many challenges, but maybe let me just mention one. I have 3 boys, 3 sons, and one is 10, one is 12, one is 10, one is 8, and the other one is 6. So you can imagine when they were younger, it means at one point in my life, I had a 4-year-old, I had a 2-year-old, and probably pregnant. So you definitely find yourself under pressure with work. And I remember when I was in that circumstance, I was also doing my MBA. So it really put a lot of pressure on me in terms of work and personal life. However, I'll give it a specific example. You know, when my son was 4 years, the oldest, then I had several little events for preschool. So what I would do is, because the preschool at least would plan it well, I would be able to actually schedule myself to be in those meetings, to attend those events. And I would also give plan B, the same schedule, I would give it to my spouse, and the same schedule, I would give it to my mom-in-law. So what would happen is, in case I cannot make that event, I would definitely have a plan B and a plan C, and one of the two would pitch up. So no matter the situation, I always made sure that I am trying to, you know, manage and make sure that there is enough attention, there is enough, you know, show of love over these little ones versus my workplace. They do appreciate that I can really, you know, get late in terms of working, but they've understood the culture. When mom is there, she is there. And when it comes to either a weekend or going for a walk in the mornings, we go together and we have that quality time. So those are some of the challenges where an ad hoc meeting can come up. I need a plan B or C to give attention to the home. I have to have that, and I would make sure that I have it.
Wow, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and expecting. Talk about a full plate. The key takeaway for me there was the issue of having a solid support structure, which is quite important, and being fully present in the moment, that it's not about the quantity of time perhaps that you spend with the children, but the quality of time. So I think they are very good points to take away from there. A few housekeeping issues to our attendees. We'll be taking questions, so you can post your questions in the chat section. We also have a few giveaways, 5 giveaways, courtesy of the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe. Thank you, Enia and team. So active participants, you can look forward to receiving some goodies at the end of this. Shingi, so sometimes work, particularly our chosen field as marketers, it requires us to be away from our homes for extended periods. What then this means is that we have so many missed milestones, and we can even miss childhood development stages. How can we address such gaps as working mothers?
Thank you, Doreen. Interestingly enough, in my job, I also tend to travel. I think I travel about 30% of my working life. So what tends to happen is it's very important to always, I believe in schedules. So, I like Outlook calendar. It makes me so organized. So we plan our lives together with my husband, and make sure that like every Saturday, when I'm back home, it's some Saturdays I'm home, some weeks I'm home, but like the week that I travel, I have to make sure that we catch up at least on Saturdays with our son, who is a 15-year-old who is home. Otherwise, our 28-year-old, the firstborn, and the 22-year-old, they are away studying, but the 15-year-old is around. So it's very important to, like I said earlier, just enjoy what you do. Don't have an attitude like my work is taking me away from my family. You end up not enjoying what you are doing. But as you go out to work, take it as time to refresh. You also need that time, by the way, to refresh on your own, and take it as time to learn, to expose yourself to new things, to new ideas, and so on. When you come back home, you are richer. If you take it positively, you will benefit from your trip. And even when I'm working, even if I go to a place like Bulawayo, right within our borders, I also take time to just shop, because sometimes when I'm here in Harare, I can't shop even for socks for my husband or this and that. So I love carrying the little things and so on. I walk through the shops when I'm done with my work. By the time I get to my hotel, I'm done with everything, and I'm packing. I'm saying, this is for my son, this is for my husband, this is for my grandson, and so on. And by the time I get home, I'm so much looking forward to being with my family again. But I've realized that time away, just take it one as a break, just for you to refresh. By the time you meet with your beloved husband again, you are refreshed and you're ready for him. We are ready to spend time with him, and it's the time for you to reflect. By the way, even when you are away from home, technology is always there. I like Zoom or WhatsApp calls and so on, but seeing each other face to face, you can go for an hour or 2 hours catching up and talking how was your day and so on. Do not miss on that. My husband and I, for example, we love that song, I just called to say I love you. So whenever we are away from each other, when the moment he says hello, I just start singing to him. I'm musical as well. So that's how we catch up. So make every bit of it fun. The work, make it fun. Play, work hard, and make sure you achieve what we are going to work for. And don't allow your mind to be depressed. I like this speaker, preacher, Joel Austin, who says your life follows your thinking. So whatever, if you believe that your work is boring, it will be boring, and it will follow even through to your social life, your family life. But enjoy every bit of it and just make fun out of it, out of everything that you do. Enjoy it to the best. Never enjoy. Tell yourself, I'll never enjoy my marriage. I'll never enjoy my work, but enjoy. Replace the word enjoyment with enjoyment.
Wow. Replace enjoy with enjoyment. I like your points, particularly when you talk about the issue of mommy guilt. Mom guilt is something that we struggle with a lot in terms of missing out on those things. But I take the point where you say we also have a responsibility to ourselves to develop ourselves, and that we should look at it as an opportunity to multitask, to do the many things that we probably couldn't do when we're in our home spaces, to refresh and to reflect, and your life follows your thinking. A quotation for us to bookmark. Ladies, join us in the chat. Put your comments, your questions in the chat, and we'll be sure to pass them on to our speakers. Let's hash out all those issues, everything that you always wanted to know about the balancing act. Mellany, let's talk about our parenting partners. I know you spoke about how one of the reasons that you've been able to juggle so well is because of having a solid support structure and having your spouse be able to fill in the gap, perhaps where you couldn't physically be there. But what advice could you possibly give to a person whose spouse is perhaps not as supportive? How then could they address these gaps where they now need to miss school activities and so forth, and the spouse is not understanding about this your job that is taking you away from home, even beyond the spouse, perhaps our families, because as Africans, you know, we come from big extended families, our in-laws and so forth, where in a scenario where they are not as supportive or as understanding of why you need to be away from home. What can you do to manage a situation like that?
I guess when you're already in the circumstances, it's different and it can be difficult. I'll speak from my own experience. When I met my partner, one of the things that I started articulating, you know, when you're getting to get to know each other, is to start speaking about your vision, your goals, what you're aspiring to do, you know. So from the onset, I was able to establish the fact that I am someone who's driven. I already understand that somehow the direction I want to go. And so there was no hide and seek, you know. And there was no way I was, you know, in college to then want to stay at home. I actually articulated what I want. And even up to today, we still have those conversations when I just wake up and start, you know, putting myself in the CEO or the former CEO of Pepsi Cola and saying, wow, I wonder how she got to America from India. One day it could be me, an African girl sitting on such a, you know, I'm putting in and emphasizing that vision and dream so that there is a subconscious buy-in, a subconscious support. And so it became easier for me to slide into my career quite well and have him as a supportive person. The other thing that even blessed us was the fact that he runs his own business. So flexibility became a bit better for him. Outside him, even when he's busy, I still have, you know, the parents to support, which means they understand the vision. They are not those type of mothers-in-law who say, why does she come home late? Why has she traveled for 2 weeks away in Barcelona? No, they actually enjoy it because they are spending time with the grandkids when I'm not there. I'm also sending pictures to them. I'm connecting. I am doing certain things. So there's a general support that you then just have. For the difficult spouses already, the only advice I can say is maybe to really, really sit down and communicate the reasons why you need to grow your career, the reasons why you need somebody to support, and to be explicit in terms of the support that you need. There are days when I get home and I'm stressed, and my spouse can tell that I'm work stressed. The support he can actually give is he just takes the kids and says, let's go away. Mom needs to take a nap. You see, so you really need to sit down with somebody, and once you align, there is that understanding. But I know marriages are different. I know people are in different situations, and my advice can only be, you know, a hint on what they can do, or maybe they've already tried that communication. They probably need to, have somebody who can speak to their spouse, someone who the spouse respects. Men sometimes respect certain men when they come and whisper something to say, you know what, you have an intelligent woman. I wonder why she has not risen in her current organization. She could be somewhere. And then you see someone now understanding and trying to support you. So there can be different ways of approaching the situation. And your spouse, your partner, look for the appropriate way of getting to his heart. Thank you, Doreen.
Useful nuggets there. Open communication. Honesty is key. Having them buy into the vision. Thank you for that one. But still on that same vein, Shingi, what advice would you give to a younger you? What are the things that you wish you had known before you embarked on this journey of being a working mother, trying to juggle the various demands upon your time?
Okay, thank you, Doreen. The younger me, things that one would want, a married woman would have wanted to know before getting married is the responsibility that a woman carries. That a woman carry is a lot. You carry so many responsibilities, far more than the men. Actually, yesterday we were just having a debate during Mother's Day dinner, and we were saying, why does it seem like men seem to die more? There are more men who die earlier than women, or rather husbands who die earlier than wives. We have more widows than widowers. Why is it that? And the men on the table were saying it's because men work harder than women. But then I said, no, I think women actually work harder than men. Men succumb to depression and so on because they do not share. But women share. That's why people always believe that women talk a lot, because women, when they meet, they share, they talk. Even to the husband, you can say more words than he says to you, because you are trying to share what is in your heart. So it's very important for I know there are so many younger women, much younger women than myself here. As you move on with your journey of life, it's important for you right now to know and be aware of this, that you have so many responsibilities. While your husband may just be going to work and coming back. Some men, in our culture, African culture, it's a blessing to have a man who knows that they can go and buy gas or do this and that, or accept a request when a woman asks. But there are also women who have husbands who do not appreciate that kind of role. So you have to be prepared to do that. And we also have single mothers who are mothering their children alone. They are the ones who have to be responsible for everything. So the moment you decide to be a mother, it's very important for you to know that there are so many responsibilities that come your way. When a child is sick, you are the one who has to take the child to hospital. If you have a husband, a supportive husband, the husband may go with you, but expect that they may not go with you. I've been a marriage counselor in December this year, by the way, we'll be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. So I've been a marriage counselor for 30 years because I married a pastor. So I will be giving examples from different people, different couples that we've come across. So sometimes you need to know when you are getting married. It's very important for you to know as a wife that there'll be so many responsibilities, and you are marrying into a family with a husband who was brought up in a different culture, which may be different from yours, a culture which may be different from yours. And it has taken him, if he's 28 years old or 32 years old, whatever, it has taken him 32 years to be who he is now. And for you to say, I will change him when we get married, you may just be frustrated. So if you want to have peace and joy in your marriage, do not expect much from your husband. Do not expect him to give more than he is already giving. It's still good to share. I like the point that Mellany mentioned. Communication is very important. Communicate your expectations, communicate how you feel, but do not say it out of frustration, because some men don't like that. Otherwise, they will wear the hat of a defensive hat to say, you know what, so, you know, you're supposed to do this and that for me. So it's very important for a wife, as you get married, to know. I'm hoping we also have single women here. Be ready for that, to say, when you are saying I do, be sure that you are ready to take up responsibilities, more responsibilities than the men. That's why in Shona they say mushamukazi. You may find yourself doing more. You are the one who has to make sure that the pantry is full, the fridge is full. Well, at least, yes, the father can support with the money, but some men don't even like shopping. They can go with you and stay in the car, and you go to the supermarket, but you still have to enjoy that, because it is your choice. You know, I always say, who you are today, right now, where you are seated, seeing my face, your life is a sum total of the decisions that you have made from the time you knew how to make a decision. So your life is a sum total of that. So do not spend your time pity-patting. Just pull yourself up and say, from where I am now, I want to move on. How can I make the best of my life? Even if your husband is not supportive, but do what you can. I mean, there are so many online programs now. If your passion is to study further, you can start a program online, and you can talk to him slowly until he will get to understand. I am a Christian, and I'm sure all of us are Christians here. Pray, continue to pray and pray. Sometimes you need to pray and fast before you approach him, and God will always make a way. Our God he masters in changing the hearts of kings, so he can change your husband's heart concerning the desires of your heart, like the word of God says in Mark chapter 11 verse 24. What things soever you desire, when you pray, believe, and you shall have them. So I believe, women, please stop pity-patting. Don't waste your airtime or your time, your energy, just telling people, hey, this and that. What do you want people to do? To be crying with you. But instead, pull yourself up and say, hey, ladies, the decisions I made have made me to be where I am today. You made the decision even to be with the men that you are with today. It was your decision. So try to make it work, because the decision was already made. But don't start regretting, to say, why am I with this man? No, love him, because you already made the decision. That one is now past, but you have to make it work with him. And you know, there is no one who is immune to love. Perhaps you are not loving him enough. Start loving him and showing him more and more love. Pamper him and pamper him. One day you
would think that with how long we've been using technology, after COVID came, we would have a handle on these technology issues by now, but look at me having technology challenges. Right, thank you for that, Shingi. So many lessons for us. The key one for me was that motherhood is a choice, and it's a choice that we shouldn't take lightly, because at the end of the day, we need to be making this choice cognizant of the fact that life happens. So we can easily, unfortunately, as mothers, we don't have an opt-out button. So we need to know, even as we take this decision, that it is our decision, and we get into it with eyes wide open. But in terms of the support structure, the issue of communication, to communicate openly, to communicate clearly and articulately, and to communicate cleverly. I see both ladies, both powerhouses spoke about it in various forms in terms of talking via a third party if there's need to do so. And just perhaps leaning on the word of God in terms of those who are of the Christian persuasion, to say that there's always useful tools for us to use as working mothers in the good book. I'll move over to Mellany to speak about, as I was saying, COVID-19. It reminded me that COVID-19 brought in a new normal, where more and more companies started adopting the working from home philosophy. And similarly, the schools where our children go, they started a work from home policy. So a remote learning policy. So then you had your working mother who was now having to become a full-time teacher as well. As a person who lived this practically, because I can see from the ages of your children that they are all school growing age, how did you find that experience? Were there any lessons for you to take forward?
Coincidentally, today, my kids started physical school and I celebrated. I was in peace for the first time in a very long time. So what happened is we went into a lockdown again around whilst they were in the school term, as they were whilst they were on holiday, we went into a lockdown and schools did not open. So the past 2 weeks, they were at home. And last year, you remember, we went through this whole homeschool thing also again. It's, to be honest, it has been the most challenging time of my life. Why? Because 3 is a handful. So my only way was to try and organize myself. So I'm here, I'm doing my work. My spouse is in his study, doing his work. And we have a helper who's also trying to do their work. And I have these 3 kids on laptops. So we ended up assigning each other. My little one was taken by the maid because they are doing the, like your kindergarten stuff, so the maid can understand. I take on the oldest son because he has less issues, and I'm, in Zoom meetings with work, so I can just, pop up and do this and that. And then I have my middle son who is hyper. And so my husband took on to that one. So we had to distribute the work because it was, to be honest, it was challenging. And but what it has taught me is the way we should appreciate even, other people who are managing our children for us at school. And it also taught me a little bit more about my children, how they learn. Some are visual, some enjoy the audio. I got to understand a little bit more on how they learn and how I can support them, which is very good. But still, from the experience, I said, teaching in this way is not yet for me. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that. But to manage the breathers, I would also plan for them. It's important, like, your kids usually wake up very early. So you find that while I'm in bed, maybe they're already up very early, like 5:30, 6 a.m., sometimes 6:30, especially even on weekends. What I would then do is I would make sure that if it's a Saturday morning, I would tell them, you can wake up whatever time you want to wake up, but do not disturb me. I will need a little bit more rest because I'll be very tired from trying to juggle work and the children. And then I would tell them by 7 a.m., we're going out for a walk together and stuff like that. So I would make sure that I keep them busy also outside school, so that I also take little small breaks during this COVID time. So, and I would also have cool-off days. Cool-off days are those days where I call a friend and I say, come take them, go out, go to the mall, go wherever, shop, play, and then bring them back. And then, that's how it would work, because you're all crammed up in one space and there's a lot of, noise and stuff like that. You all get fatigued. And so you just have to have time to cool off, all of you, because my husband, I would then say, you can go for a walk, and he would go for maybe 4Ks, 5Ks, just for him to also be cooling off, to have that cooling period. But all in all, we kind of like enjoyed it. I think when all this is over, we'll probably look back and miss it. Thanks, Doreen.
as I was listening to you, I was like, Mellany really lived my life. Or one of the happiest days for me this year was the day I was able to give back my daughter to her preschool teacher for physical lessons, to say, you can have her back. We love these little cherubs so much, but yeah, there is no shame in admitting that sometimes we need a bit of help and taking the time off when we need to. But the recurring theme here is schedule, schedule, scheduled. We just need to be more organized in terms of time management and to ask for help when we need it. Moving back to Shingi, I know your brood is slightly older than ours. We want to know, does the balancing act get better? Does it change with life stages? Does it get easier, or it's always going to be a juggling act like it seems to be for us with younger children right now?
Thank you, Doreen. Yes, it does change. It does change as children grow older. You see, now I'm here, my 15-year-old is home. He can do the cooking and cook for me and for his dad. But think of your 1-year or 2-year-old right now. You worry when you're not when you're not home. Are they well fed? Today it's cold, are they warm, and so on. If you have a good childminder, then it also gives you some peace. So yes, the things change. They do change as the children grow older. But an advice that I would like to give mothers here who still have children that are quite young, like you, Doreen, it's very important to train your children life skills. Very important. Train them to pick up their plate, put it in the sink, train them while they're still young to break an egg, fry it or boil it, or at least spread. If they're still too young, you are scared they may burn themselves, at least to spread peanut butter or margarine on a slice of bread, so that when you're into like to dilute a drink, just train them small things that they can do in the home. I tell you, it's so relieving. It's relieving even to you. I remember our son, who's now 15, when he was grade 3, he would bring us cold drink and a tray of cold drink and water from his own doing. We had not taught him to do that, but he just started doing that because we would allow him to be in the kitchen. But let's support our children when they want to be in the kitchen. Let's not discourage them. Let's not say, no, put on you break my plate, you break my cup. No, let them do it. Even if the cup breaks or the egg breaks on the floor, just say, oh, well done. I know you've been trying. I know you were trying. So as they grow older, it's more relieving to you. This is now how you get to enjoy being in the office this time, like I am now. Yes, I still have to go home and be with my husband and my son, but I know things are well taken care of. So it's very important for children to be taught life skills when they are young. It also gives them confidence as they grow older, to know that I can dilute a drink, I can spread dough on my bread, I can do this, I can fry an egg. So that will really help. And as time goes on, as they grow older, you will worry less. When they are younger, they're at preschool or primary, they lose a jersey or this and that. They don't even know where they placed it. But when they grow older, they become more responsible. So yes, things do change as time goes on, as they grow older.
Wow, at least we are glad to hear that. It's always so affirming to hear from mothers who are doing it and doing it well, to hear that it is indeed possible to have it all. Taking away that we should train our children. I'm sure as a pastor, you are very familiar with the verse that we train up a child in the manner that and he'll not depart from it as he grows. So we're taking that. One of our attendees, Sandisiwe, was talking about a friend of hers who recently experienced a breakdown due to the sheer number of responsibilities she had, work, children, and a less than helpful husband. So she was advised to slow down. So if it becomes down to crunch matter, and it's now a matter of health, how can the working mom balance it, would you say? I'll give that one to you, Shingi.
Depends on how many things she has been working on, how many tasks she has been working on. If it's work plus maybe studies and then mothering, she might opt to drop studying for a while and then carry it on later. Or if the husband is earning enough and the husband is supportive, the husband may allow her to break from work for a while. Some employers accept leave without pay. She can also take that up and rest a bit because her health is more important than anything else. You know, like that song, yeah, Oliver Mtukudzi, which says, ane utano akafuma kufura ane mari. I can't remember the exact words how we put it, but it's like the person who is healthy is wealthier than the person who has got money. So her wealth is more important than anything else. So it's such a point she needs to sit down with her husband and they agree which tasks can she drop. And if they had no helper in the home, she may need a helper, a child minder, so that that person can also be helping. I know some mothers who go home and there's no maid who has cleaned the house and so on. So juggling all that becomes too much, but she may manage to continue going to work if she can get a helper in the home. And then maybe she can drop other things like studying and so on to really slow down because it's very important. Her health is more important than anything else. I like when we talk about wellness, that's me as well, because I do that at work as well. I'm a wellness coach as well.
Yes, yes. So slow down when you need to. Think of your health as well, and do wellness checks, and just remember yourself in this balancing equation. Don't be the one piece that gets dropped. Mellany, this year's Women's Day theme spoke about choosing to challenge, and we were confronting gender bias and pushing for a more inclusive working environment. So for me, an inclusive working environment would be one where we have more women, definitely, but certainly more working mothers. But so what do we need to be doing as women? What do we need to be calling for from our society, from ourselves as working mothers, perhaps from ourselves as women in leadership? Because in as much as we're working mothers, but we're also managers and leadership in ourselves, and we are also the extended families. This same working mother is a tetewe somewhere else. So what changes? What changes do we need to be calling on from society to say, if we're going to achieve this goal that we say we want, what needs to happen?
Thanks, Doreen, for that. I think for me, it's to be our authentic self. You are a mother, you are a tete, you are all these things. And for me, the happier you are, the better you are, the more real you are and true to yourself, the more you're likely to enjoy the ups and downs of work. So I think we should be calling more for, women who are able to lead in their cheerfulness or embracing who they are, but being firm in the organizations and, showing their strong leadership, but still remaining who they truly are. You cannot be totally a moody person at work and expect to be happy at home. Then you have a personality disorder. If you listen to a lot of people when they give a speech at a funeral, you will hear sometimes a consistent thread in a speech to say, Mellany always smiled. And that smile is whether at home, whether it's at the work environment, you are a cheerful person. You're just being who you are. You are not trying to be like the men in the office. You're not trying to dress like them. You're not trying to do certain things that are out and so unnatural. For you, just lead, just be you, just deliver what you're required to do in terms of your job role so that you enjoy as you go up the ladder and be able to be you as you go up the ladder. It's, for me, that is very important. Just be your authentic self.
Indeed, authenticity. I see our time is nearly up. We will take one more question, and we'd like to end on a positive note, so we'll take this one. The question on, during the COVID time from Rose Chisweto, there was also some family bonding. It was a good time for us as well. What activities would you say really helped a lot in terms of family bonding? I'll give that one again to you, Mellany, still.
Sorry, you said what are the
activities that you found helped in family bonding during the COVID era, the lockdown era?
Yes. So for me and my team, I have very energetic guys. So morning or evening walks are quite good. Sometimes we would do, if we don't have time to go a full 2 kilometer, or it's late in the night, we would do what like your 100-meter marathons, mom versus the boys or dad versus the boys, so that is really good to bond together. Eating together became a very, very tradition, a tradition, whether it's breakfast, dinner, it kind of like bonded, when people are all over, we eat in different spaces, but now when lunch or dinner comes, we are together and we eat. So those are some of the activities. And during cool-off time, no gadgets, let's talk. So we'll do little competitions. For me and my family, what they really like is, what I prefer also is to read with them. And I'll take advantage of reading the Bible stories, and we ask each other questions, and we compete like that. If you are listening, you get it right. Who was Joseph's father? Things like that, little things, but they make a difference to the children, to the kids.
Indeed they do. 6 minutes to the end of our session. I think I need to talk to Enya. This session has been so informative, and even from the chat section, we can see that the ladies are really enjoying it. There's been a call, Akoline and others, that wish the dads were here, because this juggling act is not just about the moms. So I hope we'll be seeing one soon with them on it. So from our panelists, thank you so much for being with us. Any last words that you'd like to leave with our participants before I announce the winners for our giveaways?
Okay, sorry, Doreen. Can you just read? There are some pending questions on the chat section. Maybe I can just read them for you. I'll just ask them to just summarize them. The first one, how does one balance there's one that I got. Where is it? How does one become consistent in balancing the different roles and activities when the support system is at times shaky? I think that's one question that I've had. Let me look for another one, and then you can then allocate it between the two panelists. Okay. All right. I think this one has been answered. The issue about state tricks. I'm hoping it has been.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the last one that I've seen.
Okay. Shingi, perhaps you'd like to take that one?
Okay. Thank you, Doreen. That's about consistency, right? When you start something, my husband and I, when we're coaching, we always say it takes 21 days to develop a habit. So if you start something, if you put up a schedule for yourself, work on it for 21 days and make sure you communicate, share with your husband what you really are planning to do, and how you're planning to support him and what support you need from him, and be consistent. If you say you're going to wake up at such a time, like 4 a.m., 4:30 or 5, make sure you're consistent. However, you're going to support your children, do it that way. And whatever games you say you play, if you play every Friday or every Saturday, be consistent. And once you continue doing that, it develops into a habit and into a culture eventually in the home. And you won't find it a struggle to to do it. So you yourself initially has to be consistent. You yourself, you have to be disciplined and apply yourself and be committed to achieving the goals that you set for yourself. You know, I believe even as mothers and as wives, it's very important to always set goals for yourself. Right now, we are in May of 2021. What goals did you set for this year? Are things just happening? Remember, we do not live by instinct like animals, but we have to plan our lives. So whatever you put in place as a plan to say, okay, I need my family to improve in this manner. I need to support my family in this manner. I need to be able to do this and that. Make sure you write it down. Don't just think it, but write it down. And then you mark yourself to say, I've managed to do this and I still need to improve on this. And be sure you always continue to communicate with your husband gently and softly. You get to understand how he needs to help you.
Okay. Thank you. On the issue of consistency and setting goals, that's very important. Very soon we'll be halfway through the year, and if you fail to plan, you will definitely plan to fail. So thank you to the MAS team for organizing this and the Women in Marketing. So in the Women in Marketing Committee, we have giveaways, like I said earlier. The first to log in, Sikanyiso Kanogara. The first on the chat was Cynthia Marisa Muka. The most active on Facebook was Blessing Mutsekwa, and as well as Mildred Musweri. You can get in touch with Aqueline, and she will give you arrangements on how you can access your giveaways. Congratulations and thank you for taking part. To our panelists, thank you so much for being with us. Like I said, I'll give you just a minute to summarize the one big idea that if we had nothing else today, this one thing that you want us to take away to say, this is what I got in terms of the balancing act. Because I'm seeing Shingi on my screen, I will give it over to you to go first.
Thank you.
One idea. I know it's not easy for a preacher, but the one.
The one thing, love yourself. Just love yourself and be full of self-confidence. And in whatever you do, believe in yourself. Believe that you can achieve whatever you plan to do in life. Above all, love yourself. When you love yourself, then you are able to love your family and to love the people around you and to love your work and to love all that is around you. All your responsibilities will just flow because you have started from within.
Love yourself and all else will flow from that. Thank you. Mellany, your nugget, your one big idea that you want us to take away today.
Thank you so much, Doreen. I would say to everyone here, the best day of your life is tomorrow. Just prepare for it. Start now, because where you are today is probably the most privileged place that you are in. You're able to be even on this Zoom and being able to do what you do today. Appreciate it, remembering that tomorrow is a day that you're looking forward to, so plan for it. And whatever happens to your life, there are things that you should live by your personal values, and some of them should include love, humility, and just mentoring and loving other people. In that way, you're able to learn from a diverse background of people when you offer yourself to them. And guess what? When you're mentoring, you actually have pressure for yourself to perform because you have someone who's looking up to you. All the best.
Thank you so much, ladies. So you heard it for yourself, ladies. I like this. The one recurring theme for me was when asked to pick their one thing, both panelists agreed that it all starts from you, that you cannot give from an empty well. So we need to make sure that our wells are always filled up. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the MAS team for organizing this. We look forward to having so many more of these discussions that give us practical insights on how we can be better women, better professionals, and just overall better human beings. Before I log off, just to remind our winners, Kanyiso, Kanokara, Cynthia Masira, Marisa Muka, Blessing Mutsekwa, and Mildred Muswere to get in touch with Aquilin. She's available on cell phone number 0785 767 310 to organize to collect your parcel. So thank you, ladies. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doreen.
Thank you, Doreen.